Tony D and Little Joan with four terrible trailers. Royally Yours this Christmas. New Life, Baselines, and the Marry Me Pact. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. Links in the description. Comedy horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys, books 1 through 12. Available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. I will be at the Lower Township Cape May Library at 6 p.m. tonight for my talk on how to hunt the Jersey Devil. Hope to see you there. Anyhow, this movie, man, this trailer was hard to watch. I can't imagine having to sit through the whole movie. It is every trope in a romance movie, right? So what are the tropes? Well, there's Christmas. Yep, that's a trope. There's a prince. Yep, he's in there. And then there's a wedding, which happens at the end. So this is about a maid who works at a hotel, and a prince is coming, and then she tries on a fancy dress while she's cleaning the room, which shouldn't happen. And then the prince walks in, and they make up a story of who she is on the spot to avoid getting in trouble. And of course, they fall in love. Eventually, the real woman shows up. I don't know how she doesn't get fired for wearing her dress, but okay. And she continues on a lie that she's a rich person who I don't know, fundraises. And somehow they date. The prince somehow dates her without finding out who she really is for the first and second acts. So you know how this goes. First act, she's poor. Second act, she's dating the prince. And the third act, the big thing, of course, is he eventually finds out she lies. Because the woman he's supposed to be dating finds out, and then rats him out. And then she's like, "Oh, you never would have given me a second glance if you knew I was a maid." Probably. But so eventually, of course, he turns it around and marries her on Christmas, I guess. I don't know. They show the whole damn thing in these trailers. You give away the store. You give away the damn store. Royally Yours this Christmas. Ladies, I don't know what to tell you. If you love these movies, I guess you'll love it. But please, don't make a man watch this movie with you. It's just torture. It was torture to watch this trailer. Next up is called New Life. This is a whole trailer. They're chasing a woman, and I have no idea why. They're chasing her. I think they may want her dead or alive. They send another woman to go get her. So it's women. But they don't bother to tell you why. Now, I guess from the title, New Life probably means she's impregnated with some sort of scientific experiment, but they don't tell you. There's blood in a couple of scenes. Let's see if there's a synopsis here. A mysterious woman on the run, the resourceful fixer assigned to bring her in, two unique stories inextricably linked as the stakes of the pursuit rise to apocalyptic proportions. For what? For what? Why won't you tell me what this movie's about? Coming soon. Maybe. I mean, like, why don't you just make it a mystery when the movie comes out, too? You got to tell us something. Written and directed by John Rossman. John Rossman, if you had any say in this trailer, do something. Now, it looks like it's got some cool scenes in it, I guess, but I don't know what the New Life refers to. What is it about? Why are they chasing her? Give us a tiny hint. Like, you wouldn't have to give the store away. You could say something like, the experiment has escaped. Okay. Or the chosen one has escaped. Okay. Whatever. So, very vague trailer. Only a minute 39, but still. Next up is a TV series called Baselines, about a young kid in the hood who commits a crime and then people find out about it, and then he's blackmailed by the white dude, because he's an actual criminal, but he didn't commit the crime that he did, the basketball player, but he has a future and will get out of crushing poverty if he just, I don't know. It just, I don't know. It seems like written and directed by Nate Parker. It just seems like, again, every cliche about the inner city. So let's read it. Set in Los Angeles, the series follows Jamail Chambers, a blue chip high schooler on the brink of escaping the desperate poverty that has berated inner city America. See, like, that's not good when your whole premise is, I don't know, you're trying, you've already broadened it. Like, tell us about the characters, get us into the show, we can figure out the rest. I mean, you're only hitting us over the head with a hammer about the inner city. After this, his junior year ends with him leading his team to second place finish in the state regional tournament. Jamail is handpicked to play in the city's annual Summer League All-Star game. With college recruits swarming and pro agents hedging, the media circus leans in, peddling the question mark around his future like rabid bookies. In this exposure that gets the attention of Nick Collins, a derelict from a disreputable family from neighboring Irvine, after his doomed from the start plan to capitalize on Jamail's notoriety ends with fatal results, family members from both sides are pulled into a series of events which only affect Jamail's trajectory, but will set up one of the most intense family feuds the city has ever witnessed. I didn't really get that from this trailer. It's a family feud? Who are the families? I don't know. That should have been clear. Are these two in rival families, or are they related, or are they just friends? Is this guy the rival family? Is he in the rival family? I don't know. I don't know. It's a Manza original new drama series, so it's on this channel called Manza and a couple other platforms, I think. It's free, so the price is right. And finally, another horrible romance movie. It's called the Marry Me Pact, and you could pretty much write this one. Two young people had a pact that if they weren't married by 30, they'd get married, and they're besties. And she basically says no to him, and he seems to be into it. Then she goes to a psychic who says, you've broken a pact or something. And she realizes, because of the psychic, I guess, that she should have married this dude. He comes back from vacation ready to marry some other girl, and now she regrets her life choices. So she wants him back because it's true love. He makes her his best man, or best woman, and then she goes to the bachelor party, and she ends up in all sorts of situations where she has to dance with him and do things with him. But she's now in love with him, and he's trying to marry this other girl. Here she is trying on, she's late for the dress fitting. You better try it on. Like, why? She's a completely different woman. That doesn't make any sense. But okay. And then there was some postcard where he confessed his love to her that she didn't get for 6 months. And during that time, he completely fell in love with another woman and decided to marry her. And then she finds it and then confronts him in the climax of the movie. And then he's like, well, you better not come to the wedding now. And then, of course, she comes to the wedding and blows it up and says, be with me instead. And he goes with her. He goes with her. I guess screw that other woman. Screw that other woman he pretended to be in love with and then ended up not marrying. I don't know. This seems, on the one hand, directed by, I can't read this. It looks like Bronco Hernandez and Damian Romway, written by Ben Weatherbill. Feels like a made-up name, but brutal. Another brutal trailer. How 2:48? Oh man, it felt like 7 hours of my life. So yeah, ladies. On the one hand, there is a positive message here, I guess, that you could say, she regrets not getting married and having kids, I guess, with a man who was her friend all this time. And, she turns it around and then is like looking to get married. So I guess you could call that a positive thing, but it just seems like the dumbest setup. It seems like even though the writer's name is Ben, I would have guessed this was written by a woman because the comedy just is brutally bad, and it just comes off as how do people live these lives? I don't know. I just can't relate to this where he's like in love with this girl, then gets friend zoned, and then comes back to her. Like it doesn't seem like they're acting like two people who have been friends for many many years, and then one of them wants to do a romantic thing. Just doesn't sit right the way it works. They should be way more familiar with each other. Shouldn't be this many surprises. And it just seems unbelievably cruel to the other woman, or they both just seem very fickle, like they met and within 6 months they're getting married. And during that time, you know, like classically in these kinds of movies, she would just be a straight up bee on wheels, right? That would be the way to set up. Like she's wrong for him. Like she is a awful person, and his friend not only wants to marry him, but wants to prevent him from marrying the other woman who's clearly wrong for him. Maybe she just wants him for his money, or maybe she's just awful. She's just an awful person. Maybe her family's like a bunch of gangsters, whatever. Something like that. But like she just comes off as some normal woman who, oh, we're getting married. Okay, great. That sounds wonderful. And then gets screwed at the end of the movie. I feel bad for her. So I think you really dropped the ball on this one. I think you really dropped the ball. And again, the 3-act breakdown is the pact in the beginning, and the girl regretting she didn't marry the guy. He goes away, comes back with a new wife. She's going to be part of his wedding plans. And then the 3rd act, she confronts him about the postcard, and then they end up together anyway. So those are the 4 trailers. Royally Yours This Christmas, New Life, Baselines, and the Marry Me Pact. God, this one's so tough. What would I watch first? Alright, so first off, the 2 romantic movies, they're right on the bottom. The Marry Me Pact and Royally Yours, in the garbage, at the bottom. Both of them are just god-awful. Just god-awful. If I had to put one above the other, I would put the Marry Me Pact slightly above this. But that is the lowest of bars. Now, the other 2, on the one hand, this feels very derivative and not at all the trailer doesn't seem what it is at all about in the description. New Life, I don't know what the damn movie's about. I really don't. This could be good potentially, but I have a sneaking suspicion when you get a trailer like this, I don't think you should see the movie, because I think they're either A, hiding the true plot point because it's so stupid or it didn't come out right or whatever. B, they're trying to make it a surprise because the movie's not very good. Or C, they are literally so clueless they cut this trailer without even thinking about it. They're so caught up in their grandiose idea of having a hit movie that they cut the trailer in such a way that they don't tell you anything because they feel entitled that you should go see it. So I would keep this at number 2. And I guess Baseline, I would watch it for an episode if I had to. It's not my kind of show. It just looks like endless drama about the inner city, and everything ends the same in these dramas. Somebody gets shot, somebody goes to prison, somebody gets addicted to drugs. I mean, there's virtually no surprises in this for me. And I don't like basketball or sports, so I don't care about any of this stuff. I can't relate to it. I didn't grow up in the inner city. It just feels all dark and depressing. It'd be great to see a TV show maybe about a inner city youth who have like a good time, despite the fact that it sucks. Right? Despite all the crime and corruption and whatever, they make it. They make it. It's dangerous, but they make it somehow, and they still have fun. That would be a cool show, and they're not a-holes. That's part of the problem too. I think the sensibilities in the inner city are different. I don't know if these are actually popular dramas within the inner city. I don't think they are. I think they're popular. I think the audience would be people outside the cities looking in, thinking that this is the way things are. Oh, it's terrible there. Look at all their oppression. Whereas people in the inner city, I don't think they would watch this show. It would be like watching a show about yourself and your conditions, and then seeing some rich people astroturf what they think you go through. That's my vibe on these kinds of shows. But that being said, I guess it's the best one of a lot. So it's free. I'll give it that. It's nice that it's free. These things should be free. I grew up on free TV, and some of it was pretty good. Anyhow, that's it for me, Tony D and Little Joan. Check us out on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble for our more bass takes. I will be at the Lower Township Cape May Library tonight at 6 p.m. Hope to see you there, and we'll see you in the next one.